everyone, Jason Lay back here again, and today we will be reviewing Terminator Salvation. This is directed by McG, who directed the Charlie's Angel films, and, well, not films. He did like one Charlie Angel movie, the original, and he brought us Terminator Salvation, which is about John Connor in the future war, trying to prove himself to be the leader. Not everyone believed that he is the one to rise everyone back up from the ashes. Then when a cyborg/human hybrid Terminator comes in the name of Sam Worthington, I forgot the actual character's name already. He basically sort of teams up with him to save like Kyle Reese from the Terminators that kidnapped him in the middle of the movie. And so they are trying to do that while also trying to find a way to take down Skynet. This is a really, really weird Terminator movie, and one of the most bizarre in the franchise. This is sort of a sequel, but it's also, I could also see it as a prequel. It's something like that. You could like choose which one is it, where it could fit in the timeline, because the timeline is already confusing as hell. So who gives a fuck about timelines in the Terminator franchise? And honestly, for what this movie is, I honestly don't think it's that bad. And I'm not the only one. There's plenty of fans of the Terminator franchise that actually do enjoy this one. And to this day, probably until Terminator Dark Fate comes out, it is still considered the best of the sequels after Judgment Day. So, while that's not saying a lot, it does say that this movie did do many things right. And watching this movie now, it's obvious. The special effects, the action, the way it's directed and helmed, the way it's shot, cinematography. It's all done so well. It feels like a different movie. It doesn't feel like any of the other Terminator movies. It has this grayish color palette. Sometimes it will look like one of the other movies when it's like indoors. But overall, this is a totally different movie apart from the others. The settings are really grim and barren. This feels like a post-apocalyptic world that had been destroyed and run by killer robots. And you actually feel the terror in these characters, mostly Lee and Christian Bale, who does a great job as John Connor. He is absolutely amazing in this movie, and I really think this is the standout performance in the entire film. Sam Worthington, I don't remember his character's name, but he does a fine job for what he's given. I do like his character, where it started off, and Kyle Reese, played by Anton Yelchin. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. Rest in peace. He's gone way too soon. Does a really good job as this young Kyle Reese, who is taking care of a little child who was born during the war. And I think he did a great job for what he's given. I think he's also a standout in this movie. All the actors do a good job in their respective roles. And the first and second act are really entertaining with great action. Really great setup in that first act. I think the first act of this movie is the strongest. The second act isn't as strong, but you are anticipating what's to come in that third act. And while still the third act is visually stunning, I would say that is where the biggest problem lies. The writing in the script and where it all concludes in the plans of Skynet make little to no sense. I'm not gonna spoil much that had not been shown in the trailers, and what I said about that Terminator was actually in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler anymore. That's why I said it here. But to be honest, this movie it had a great start, but that third act kind of ruined it, especially with that whole scene with one of the Terminators. I'm not gonna say much about that, but I feel like the third act really bogged down in terms of its storytelling, and it really took a complete stop and crashed. And I just didn't think it worked as well. Overall, Terminator Salvation is a fine sequel, but it could have been better, and I can understand why a lot of people may not like it. But still, it is better than Terminator 3 or Genesis, which we're going to get into next. I have a lot to say about that movie. But yeah, this movie is fine for what it is. I do suggest it if you're a Terminator fan, and I'm going to give Terminator Salvation a B-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.